Hi, Anand. I thought today we will talk further about what's happening with inflation. That it's
Mm,
just not a thing that's been biting us now. That
mm,
has been going on for quite some time, for more than a decade actually. If we
I-
trace it back,
mm,
uh, the Arab Spring itself,
mm,
the revolution which happened across the Middle East, happened not only for social justice,
mm.
but also the soaring cost of basic
In
staples.
Tunisia, it was the
Initially, yes,
basic cost. Initially, it was because of rising cost of bread.
correct.
Okay.
Then from there, we it's been going up and going up. Now, thanks to the pandemic and climate crisis, and also now to the Russian war, we see this thing going on further. Inflation spikes going on, and now we have problems spreading from Pakistan to Turkey to Sri Lanka, which is right below us, and also all the way up in South America, also Peru and all that are struggling with rising cost and inflation.
This is not inflation. This you are talking about food inflation.
Yes.
But even in the developed world, there is a cost of rising food.
Hmm.
But what is hurting more is cost of rising food, cost of rising energy in the West. Still,
Okay.
food prices are not yet gone off the roof. But there are no murmurs of dissent even in middle class America
Hmm.
that cost of food is going through the roof. Even in India also, the cost of food has really gone up to the roof. Yesterday, I noticed that in North India, lemon is costing 300 rupees a kilo.
Yes.
Then I immediately pedal back to check where we are staying in Madras. What is the cost of? So it was 170 to 180 rupees.
Yes, even a few weeks ago, I noticed carrot was going at a kilo of almost 200 rupees. Now it's come down
No,
a bit.
no, lemon because Tamil Nadu is one of the biggest producers of lime in India,
Hmm.
and that is at 180 rupees.
Hmm.
So the really cost of inflation has gone through the roof. In fact, somebody known to me is takes a walk very early in the morning.
Hmm.
Not Sundar, the other person. So he normally has a habit of drinking tea outside.
Hmm.
Suddenly he saw for the same amount of price. This is not in Madras, it's in about 200 kilometers from Madras. He was given only half a cup. So he had to drink 2 cups of tea to feel satisfied,
The usual satisfaction.
usual satisfaction. And each cup he paid 10 rupees. So he paid 20 rupees to drink a quantity of tea that made him satisfied. A normal cup of tea it costs about 15 rupees where we stay now, 12 to 15 rupees. This is the cheapest. A humble, simple cup of coffee. I remember when I was a kid, you were a very young kid, very young, and I was about 19 to 20. And you had to go to a five-star hotel to drink coffee for 26 rupees.
Correct. And even then, we thought it was expensive.
I thought very expensive. So 26 bucks for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And I was about 18. And then today, you go to
25.
Madras coffee bar, on the
Hmm.
coffee bar, you're paying 23 to 25 rupees for a tumbler of coffee.
Yeah. It's like a
So
shot of coffee.
that's a shot of coffee. Forget Starbucks. It's really gone through the roof.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of 20 years, 30 years, it's gone. Most people are like, oh, you're talking about times long ago. It's not really that far back.
No, it's not very far back, and the last 5 6 years has accentuated the trend worldwide.
Correct. So this is not an India problem. It's not just a South Asia problem. It
It's
seems
not
to
a
be a
it's a
global problem.
it's a global problem. And this is a global problem because from 2000 you have been running a very loose monetary policy. It's not that food production has come down. I can understand if you are producing less.
Hmm.
The world has been producing more over this
True.
period.
True.
India has been producing more food. The world has been producing more food. In fact, we know how to produce more out of less quantity
Correct.
now,
Quality of production has improved.
improved. And in fact, in India, most farmers struggle to make income, and worldwide farmers are subsidized.
True.
So this is clearly a monetary phenomenon.
Yeah, but this social problem, inflation is also economic problem is having a spillover into our political arena too, right? This is what's causing this kind of stir and swing the worldwide. You see everywhere
Yeah,
where politics is being swung right away to a very protectionist, and even
but
this
I want
what's
to
happening in Russia could be a form of that.
no, see. There is extreme. I think you have to go back to Ray Dalio.
Hmm.
So Ray Dalio says when this happens,
Hmm.
there is extreme left or extreme right. Both are populists.
True. Very true.
Okay. The extreme right is protecting the rich,
True.
right? The extreme left is for redistribution.
True.
So Bernie Sanders is for redistribution. Donald Trump is for protecting the rich.
True.
These are two extremes. So to run a government, you need to have a consensus.
There seems to be very little of that.
Now, what has happened because of loose monetary policy is extremely loose monetary policy is the rich have become extremely wealthy.
Correct.
Mind-boggling numbers. It's absolutely mind-numbing numbers. We are talking about people who have worth more than $200 billion.
Correct. Like Elon Musk,
Elon Musk, for a long time, Jeff Bezos.
Bill Gates, Warren Buffett.
No, they have not in.
They have not reached the 2. They have not crossed the 200, but they're very
They're
close to
about
it.
at 85.
They have their nose is touching it.
Yeah, but Buffett has given away half his wealth. If not, he would be at 200 billion. So what this means is the rich are now controlling the source of production and wealth. Labor is not getting the kind of money.
Not only are they connecting the money and the wealth, they're also controlling the fabric of society. Like Elon Musk buying himself a seat on Twitter and now saying how Twitter should be run. God knows what else he can sit and do now. I mean,
but
this kind of wealth is crazy, isn't it?
But all this is because you fail to follow the fundamental tenets of economics.
Correct.
The fundamental tenets of economics is you tax when the times are good and you borrow when the times are bad. That's Keynes.
Correct.
But we have always borrow when the times are bad and we also borrow when times are good, and you don't tax. As long as you don't tax the upper classes, you don't tax the wealthy, you will create wealth disparity. Because beyond a point, money makes money. This can be seen in very simple, in my case or anybody's case. Even if I stop working and I don't do anything from now on, I can't spend the amount of money that is coming to me from investments.
Absolutely right.
About 10 years back, it wouldn't have been so. In the sense that the money from investments wouldn't have made me very wealthy. But today, what has happened is because I have accumulated, my investments are enough to take care of my needs, plus keep adding to my capital.
That's true. It's like what Buffett said. It's not because of the loose monetary policy. Your opportunities for if you already have a base to launch yourself from, it's immense.
Yes, it's immense.
You're not breaking the law or anything. You're just leveraging yourself.
I'm not no leverage. In America, it's even more worse. See, this is India. But in America, what has happened is if you have $100 million, right, the market is booming and is going to, only now in last 1 year, we are not sure whether it's going to boom. Till 1 year back, it was going to boom. So what you do, you take out I have $100 million fortune. I take out $15 million a loan at less than 1% in the name of saving the economy. I play it in the stock market. In a year, I would have at least made about 20, or in 4 years, I would have doubled it. I'm saying worst case scenario, people made it even more because you are investing in pre-IPO companies. So in 3-4 years, you will double the money. You would have made it 30 million. You would have paid 1% of it, 4% as borrowing cost. How much? 4% of that as borrowing cost.
True.
And your money would have, what is 4% of 15 million?
Yes, it's a lot of money now.
No, I'm saying it's absolutely nothing. He made $30 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So his profit was 15 million and he made 4% of it. So what I'm trying to say, for you just gave money, this case of Anshil Grover, Bharat PE, which was blown up on his face. What was the fight? How did he get caught? He got caught because he abused a bank manager, saying that you did not fund me to buy Nykaa. I would put 100 crores. You have to give me 900 crores. I'll apply 1000 crores in Nykaa. If I applied 1000 crores, I'll get 10 crores of shares or 15 crores of shares, which I'll sell on listing date and make 100% gain. Now Nykaa has collapsed. Zomato has collapsed. These guys have made their money.
True.
Zomato is almost trading at IPO price.
True.
So you, by loose monetary policy, you allowed not only in India, across the world, you have allowed things to slight control. They've gone, either you are super rich
or you're extremely poor.
Or there is no middle class. The middle class is vanished.
Okay, so let's take this interesting point which you brought up. So when the similar thing was happening during World War I and World War II, we had, fortunately, the world had great thinkers like Keynes, and we had Hayek and everybody back then. And they were in positions of power, or they could influence positions of power, so they could steer us through this time. Currently, in this world right now, worldwide, do you see any eminent economist
No,
or
no,
any
no, no, no.
eminent guy?
There is a past.
Hmm.
We always believe the past is better than the future.
Hmm.
It's never true.
Hmm.
Like the kind of life you are leading, your grandfather never led.
Absolutely.
So okay, so let's not say the past. Nobody listened to Keynes
At the time, yes.
1915 to 1930s. That's why he wrote the economic, criticizing the Treaty of Versailles. He wrote the economic consequences of peace, which is what would happen because of that. Nobody believed him. It took 20 years for it to
Yes,
happen.
it's all in hindsight now.
Yeah. Okay. Now you are saying Keynes is a great thinker,
Hmm.
but nobody listened to Keynes from 1919 to 1939. He was sitting in that Bloomsbury. He was roaming around with the Bloomsbury group. People call him eccentric. He was roaming with Virginia Woolf and others and writing, painting and writing and enjoying time with a ballerina, managing money for Cambridge. All of Keynes' reputation
It's
is in
post.
hindsight and the work he did during the war.
True.
Hmm.
But do you think there's anybody who we can?
There are plenty of people. There are extraordinary thinkers, but you are not popular.
True.
So you need today, what is being looked for is a populist solution.
Hmm.
Both from, that's what Ray Dalio says, both from the right and from the left.
Temperance cannot be the solution.
There is no temperance, but the solution is temperance.
Yes.
So the world will go through a cataclysmic
Cycle.
readjustment, like it went through between 1929 and 1939.
So you feel we have crossed a bridge for the transition, like it to be peaceful transition. Whatever happens now, we're going to have a shake-up.
Are we having a peaceful transformation in Sri Lanka?
No.
Are
Not
you
at all.
having a peaceful transformation in Russia?
No.
Is there a peaceful transformation? And what the market says, or in Turkey, the market says that.
Even Pakistan is going through a very tough
Yeah,
time.
and in fact, Arvind Subramaniam wrote a paper on Sri Lanka
Hmm.
before this crisis and
Hmm.
predicting this crisis,
Hmm.
and which he repeatedly what I said,
Hmm.
authoritarianism. There's another book, I think, by a man called Oslan, which was referred by George Soros. Shashwat has that book.
Hmm.
He's coming back on vacation. You ask him, it's about society and different types of society. So the society keeps repeating this. So wherever you have an authoritarian regime,
Hmm.
not very popular what I'm saying, sitting in one, whatever, whoever and wherever we live in an authoritarian regime, it has to come to grief.
True.
Hmm.
But there seems to be no public appetite for non-authoritarian regime. There
It
seems to
doesn't.
be.
Either you have on the extreme left,
Hmm.
like Mardo in Venezuela, or extreme right, like what is there, their leftist right, like what is there in Putin or Xi Jinping, or you have like in Philippines, you have Durante, in Brazil, you have Bolsonaro.
So where do you see it heading in the next, let's say, couple of years? Where do you think? Where do you think the bottom
See
of
the
this
world.
kind of mess up? I mean, this churning which is happening. How long do you think it's going to take?
I
Before?
don't know. I am not an astrologer.
Hmm.
So what I know for sure, the end is coming. It's a very nasty end. It's a very nasty end. And when will it come? How long will it last? I have no idea, because even now America is chickening out of raising rates.
True.
So America has not moved.
Yes, they seem to be having a very weak leadership right now.
Yeah, so they have not moved. I can understand weak leadership as far as the country goes, but they have not moved on increasing rates, saying that recession might come. But obviously, the world has to
Yeah,
see
but politicians
something.
are influencing that too. Though they claim the Fed is not influenced and it's independent, there is, of course, influence happening.
Of course, there's influence, and that is why they have not increased interest rates. The response for a 40-year high in inflation is a 0.25% rate,
Hmm.
right? Yesterday, India had a monetary policy.
Hmm.
He's saying magically inflation will come to 5.1%. How will it come?
I don't know. He seems to be a magician. That's
He's
all
a
I can
magician.
say. Anyway,
Okay.
this conversation was interesting,
Okay.
and we'll continue.
Yeah. Thank you for watching Be Rich. If you like this video, kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified every time a video comes out. If you do like the content, kindly consider sharing with your friends and relatives. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support.